Hey everyone, Lee with LG Speed and Custom here, and in this video we are repairing Radiator Carnage. So in the last video on the 32, we finished the windows off. We got the front windows all in, window tracks in, windows roll up and down. For those of you that watch the video to the very end, at the end of the video, I took this car for a little drive to the gas station to get some gas and to charge up the battery because it's been sitting for a long time. As I was pulling into the gas station parking lot, I heard a twang and coolant sprayed on my windshield. Twang I wasn't too sure about. The coolant on the windshield, I just assumed was the radiator. I had just filled the radiator up to the top with some water, and I just assumed it was like burping a bubble out or something. It's kind of a common thing that happens when you first fill a coolant system. That wasn't the case at all. This little 1/4-inch bolt that holds my generator strap, it snapped, and the generator strap came open, causing the fan and the generator assembly to fall into the radiator and just mangled it, just chewed right through the core. Major bummer, kind of a bit of a setback on this project because it's like this close to being roadworthy. But that's what happens sometimes. Hot rods and anything with cars, any projects in general, it's pretty common to have like situations where you're 1 step forward and 3 steps back. This is just one of those situations. So in this video, we're just gonna deal with it. We're gonna take this thing back apart and fix it. I'm hoping that it will come apart okay. We need to fix this, the generator issue, that's not a big deal. I'm just gonna drill and tap this out to a 3/8 and put a nice 3/8, probably a grade 8 bolt in there. That'll fix that. But this radiator, to get the rad off, the grill needs to come off. To get the grill off, the headlight bar needs to come off. The headlight wiring goes through the grill, so we might end up having to take the headlights back apart to get the wiring out to get through there. I am going to attempt, I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to attempt first if I can unbolt the grill shell from the radiator and maybe just scooch it ahead a little bit, enough to slide the rad out from the back, and then we can crate the rad up, send it off to Don's Radiators in Lethbridge, and I've already talked to him, he's gonna put a new core in it. So, let's get into it. One of the first things I'm gonna do is crack this drain open and start draining the radiator, and then while it's draining, we can start taking stuff apart. Our grill is held on with, we've got a bolt there, and then a bolt there on each side. Then the grill shell should be free. I don't know if it's gonna fit through here or not. We've only got maybe about 1 inch clearance through there, but I could unbolt the headlight bar and like not bother undoing the headlights themselves, just kind of leave all this hooked up and see if I can just kind of slide everything forward to get that out. Once the grill is out of the way, we've got obviously our 2 upper rad hoses, we've got our 2 lower rad hoses, and then we've got our coolant catch can system to remove. A couple bolts up here going to our upper rad support rods. And then you can't see it with the grill on right now, but down at the very bottom of the radiator is 2 bolts, 1 on each side, that actually hold the radiator to the front cross member. Beautiful, I think this is gonna work great. There's enough tension or slack in here that I could slide everything just ahead a little bit. Now you can see these other bolts down here that hold the actual radiator to the cross member. So from here, we'll take our hoses off and our support rods up here, undo those, and then the rad should come out. All right, rad is pretty much undone. The lower rad hoses, we've still got to slide those off. The trick with the flathead ones, because they're so short, is to slide the rad out, which hopefully I can do without, I might need a pry bar actually. Hopefully I can do that without knocking down this setup here. Okay, that's just about out. Slide this side out now. Okay, I think we're winning. We're out. That worked rather well. I didn't have to really take any of that stuff apart, just unbolt the headlight bar, and it all slid forward. Look at this though. That is munched. What a shame. This rad is like brand new. But luckily, Don from Don's Radiators in Lethbridge, Alberta, is a swell guy. And while he did deny me the warranty on this when I asked him, he said that, you know, send it out to him and he'll put a new core in it and it's going to be amazing. So let's go. I've got a crate. I send rads to Don quite often. So I've got a crate. We just got to go get it from outside somewhere and box this up. I hope it's going to fit in here. I just realized as I was unscrewing it, I built this crate to fit in Rob Hull's radiator, which is for a 28 Model A. Which is shorter than a 32. Ooh, it's gonna be tight. But I think it might be okay. So close. Might have to build it up a little bit to clear the spout here. That's easy enough to do. I just quickly put like a little spacer in there out of some scrap 1x4 that I had. I also put a little note on here for Don to clock this overflow outlet. It points right at this upper rad hose and it makes it really, really hard to get the hose on and off. The overflow hose, not the rad hose. So if he can clock that a little bit, would just make life a lot easier. I got it all packaged up. I don't want my damaged radiator to get damaged. So we'll screw this down and then that's ready to go. Radiator all crated up. Gonna go ahead and fix the issue that caused all this. The generator strap. So this strap here normally sits like that and it had a 1/4 inch bolt in it. I don't know what grade this bolt is. It's the bolt that was in the bracket when I got it. What I'm going to do is not put another 1/4 inch bolt in. I'm going to drill it out with a 5/16 drill bit and then tap it and put this 3/8 grade 8 bolt in. That should secure everything a lot better. Hopefully enough. I've been running these, like I've got the 8BA in this car. Shannon's Meteor over there has got an 8BA. My Roadster's got an 8BA. They all have this style bracket, and I've never had this issue happen before. That being said, this is the first one I've ever had the fan mount on it. So I don't know if the fan caused extra stress or if it was just like a weird situation, kind of a one-time only. I don't know. But we'll put a 3/8 bolt in there, put it back together, and hope it works. There we go. Is that gonna go tight enough? I think so. That's nice and secure now. Our belt has tension on it, but it's not like stupid tight. I wasn't able to put the big flat washer on there. There's just not enough room. So we just got a lock washer on there, which should be okay, I hope. Put their wires back up, and that project is done. Cool, 3/8 bolt is in there. So I guess we'll just monitor this and keep an eye on it to hopefully make sure this doesn't happen again. It's 2 weeks later, still don't have the radiator back, which I'm not like super concerned about. I knew it was gonna take some time, and the weather's been pretty crappy lately. We're having second winter right now, so it hasn't, it's not really bothering me that I don't have the rad back, because it's not nice enough to drive the car anyways. We got some mail in the last 2 weeks. First of all, we've got some A-pillar garnish moldings here. These came from Tony Gadet in Nova Scotia, complete opposite end of the country, East Coast to West Coast. So I traded Tony an LG Speed and Custom t-shirt for these two A-pillar garnish moldings. These are the ones that go like right here on the inside. So thanks so much for those, Tony. If you need a LG Speed and Custom t-shirt, hit up lgspeedcustom.com. We've also got some mail from Dave in California, Rodder50 on Instagram. I've known Dave for a couple years now. Every time we're in the States, you know, it's funny for like living in Canada and him living in California, we run into each other at events quite a bit. Dave was I hung out with him at Bonneville, hung out with him at the Estranged Drags, hung out with him at the Grand National Roadster Show. Anyways, this package is from him. It is super taped. So bear with me while I figure out how to get into this thing. There we go. Recycling day at Dave's house. One chrome chopped 32 Ford sedan garnish molding. This is, I did not have this side for those that are regulars on the channel and know I've been looking for garnish moldings. This is the last of the side windows now. I've got all the side windows. Thanks to Tony, I've got the front window. The only garnish molding I still need for this car is the very rear window with 32 Ford two-door sedan specific. So if you've got one sitting under your bench or hanging in your rafters, let me know. I need it. Anyways, this is super cool. Thanks so much, Dave. We talked about this at the Grand National Roadster Show. Dave's got a really cool 32 two-door sedan as well. And I forget what happened with this one, why he didn't use it. I think he said it got chopped too much. Can't remember. It's definitely chopped. So we'll make it work. It's going to be great. Traded Dave some of my 35, 36 Ford wishbone rear axle brackets for this. So super stoked on that. Thanks, Dave. It's so close to fitting as is. It needs to be chopped like the thickness of a zip disc, more or less. Maybe a little more. Maybe a 1/4 inch chop and it'll fit in there. And it's already being chopped a little bit, so I don't have to worry about potentially wrecking the chrome. Super cool. Thanks so much, Dave. Really appreciate it. Anyways, like I mentioned, it's 2 weeks since we took this rad apart. Last weekend, I worked on the car, just prepping it for its inspection that it needs to go through. Just doing a bunch of little stuff. I didn't film any of it because none of it was like interesting stuff or anything. I've got a couple projects I want to do next. We got to do the roof. I've got a back seat for the car, but we got to modify it to make it fit. I want to put a heater in, but I don't want to do this on this video because this video is about the radiator. So instead, I'm just going to do like a little small project today just to kind of fill time while we wait for the rad to come back. And that is to deal with this air cleaner. This air cleaner was on the car when I bought it. It's a cool idea, but it's not really my style, and it's pretty beat up. So my solution, I picked this up a while ago. I think I got this from Zach at Wilson Builds. And I want to try to modify this. It's an oil bath air cleaner, obviously. And someone has already put, oh man, come on. It's always on camera when stuff doesn't want to come apart. Just slide, there we go. What was so hard about that? And it's already got a filter in it that's not an oil bath. Obviously, not awesome. I don't want to run that. But we're going to have to modify this because this is obviously designed to fit on a Ford like Holly 94 style carburetor. And this car actually has like a Rochester 2G on it because this is a Mercury 4-bolt manifold. And these Rochester 2Gs, I think it's a 2G, they bolt right on and they're a far superior carburetor. So that carburetor was on it when I got it. It works really good. Not going to change it right now. Anyways, we're going to make that oil bath air cleaner fit this carburetor. I already know that that base is too small to fit on this carburetor, but it also isn't tall enough. The air cleaner needs to stand up a little bit in order to clear the top of the float bowl here. So I found a piece of tubing here that this fits the base of the carburetor really nice. So I was thinking I would, basically just probably use a hole saw and drill the bottom of this out so that this piece of tubing can weld to the bottom of here, and we'll just cut it to the right length so that it sits just high enough off the carburetor to clear everything. So the stud that holds the lid on over there, I just removed that out of here with an air saw to get it out of the way, and now I can take a hole saw. This hole saw is a 3-inch hole saw, which is the same size as our tubing right there. Gonna hole saw the center out of this, and then our tubing, well, that'll give us a spot for our tubing to go through, but it'll also like get rid of all this flange and stuff that doesn't fit our current carburetor. That almost worked. There's a inside piece there, which is like where the air originally came in. And I guess, yeah, that's where the air went into the carburetor. Anyways, whatever. This is just spinning now. And we haven't gone all the way through the bottom yet, so. Gonna use some brute force, I think, to get this out, and then we'll keep hole sawing. All right, got it out. Absolutely massacred it with an air saw. But we're out. We got our hole all the way through now. So I've already measured from the float bowl to the base of the carburetor, and it's 3/8 of an inch. So now if I measure from the bottom of the air cleaner to the inside, this lip right here, we've got 2 inches. So if I cut this, I think I'm gonna cut this at 2.5 inches, and then we got a little bit of wiggle room. Now, we're just simply gonna lower this onto here. It's a bit of a tight fit. I think I need 2 hands to do it, but we'll drop that down until this top edge is flush with here, and then we'll square it up and tack it. That worked really good. We've got a nice amount of clearance in there now. But we're not done yet. I just finished welding this piece of tubing in. Welded it on both sides so it's nice and strong. Our next step now, we gotta figure out how to get air into here, because when we put our lid on, you know, that's pretty much sealed up. I considered spacing this up a little bit so that air could come in through there, but I don't know if I'm gonna get enough that way. And I also don't have an air filter yet to know exactly how high we're gonna be. So I was thinking I'll take a hole saw and drill some, like, I don't know, 1.5 inch holes in the bottom there so that air can get sucked in through there. And then I'll drill some more holes in here. Not quite sure how I'm gonna drill holes in there yet because I don't have a 90-degree drill, or do I? No, I don't. But yeah, we'll drill some holes in there so that the air comes in through the bottom and then into there, through the filter, and then down the carburetor. I just drilled a series of 1/4-inch pilot holes all the way around. I didn't get like super carried away with making them exactly perfectly symmetrical. They're, you know, roughly 3 inches apart, kind of in the center. I've got a 1 3/8 hole saw in there now, and yeah, we're just gonna drill those out now and open them up a bit. Got an 1/8 inch drill bit in there as far as it'll go in, and I can get my drill in here now to drill some pilot holes. And I'm hoping once I got my pilot holes drilled, I can, you know, go through it on an angle. I hope. I don't know. We'll try it. See what happens. It may work, may not. Well, that was really awkward, but it worked. I broke my 1 3/8 hole saw, so I went up to 1 5/8, which did cause some problems there on that one. And which one? This one right here. It wasn't so much because it was a bigger one. My pilot hole wasn't low enough, so when I was sawing through, it kind of chomped into there. But that's no problem. We can weld that up and it'll be fine. Probably do that right now, and then we'll go and try to find an air filter for this. Those little spots are taken care of. Let's jump in the truck. We're gonna go see Glenn, see if we can get an air filter that fits in here, and then maybe stop on the way back and see Scott at Blast It. And he's got a do-it-yourself sandblasting place. We'll clean this up a little bit. Well, I got good news and bad news. Good news is I went and saw Glenn at the parts store, and he has the perfect little filter that just fits in there. As perfect could get. Isn't that great? Wix part number 46036. Boom. The bad news is I went to see Glenn first. There was a bit of a lineup. Glenn and I visited for a bit. By the time I got out of there, it was like 5 after 3. Stopped at the sandblast shop, and as soon as I pulled in, I remembered they closed at 3 o'clock, so I just missed them. I should have went to the sandblast shop first, sandblasted this, and then went and saw Glenn. Oh well, it's fine. We'll do it later. Doesn't matter. We don't even have a radiator, so it's not like we're going anywhere today. Let's take our setup and we'll put it on there and measure. We got to put a little 1/4-inch rod. The one that was in there isn't tall enough for this air cleaner. So we'll just mock it up with that and wait till another day to sandblast. It'll be fine. I put a chunk of 1/4-inch rod in there. Put the air filter back on. Let's mark it right there. And then we can take the rod back out and cut it. There we go. Well, that looks a lot more appropriate, I think. There is a hole right here, a threaded hole that looks factory. I'm not sure what it's for, but I think I might weld it up because it looks a little bit, I don't know, just weird. I don't know why it's there. Can't wait to powder coat this thing black and see what it looks like. It's a week and a half later. Still haven't sandblasted and powder coated that. I tried to go back last Saturday and powder coat it, and I missed him again. It turns out he cut his hours back on Saturdays. He goes home at 1 now, so. And I didn't make it there this week. I just got way too much other stuff on the go. Just dropped off moments ago my radiator. I gotta unscrew more stuff. Hold on. All right, finally got it open, and t-shirts from Dawn. Not one, but 2. I think one's for Shannon. This is his new Model A that he just got. He was telling me about it. Still got a 4-banger in it, but he put it on like 16-inch wires. Made a nice, like, mild hot rod. Good timing, because this is my current Dawn's Radiator shirt, which is just total coincidence. I happen to be wearing it right now. But it's getting pretty full of holes, so thanks, Dawn, for new shirts. And Dawn's Radiators hot rod calendar. Cool. Not 1, but 2. Boom. 1 record radiator. Awesome. Thanks so much, Dawn. This is great. Yes. Just kind of got to put it back together now, right? all back together. Cool. I was gonna take it to the gas station to, you know, pick up where I left off when this happened last time and put gas in the car, but just like last time, which was like 3 weeks ago, my battery it wasn't dead, but it wasn't enough to start the car. I think I might have to break down and buy a battery for this car. The battery that's in it is the battery that was in the car when I bought it 2.5 years ago, and it's been sitting on a shelf for like, I don't know, 1.5 years, and then it's been in the car for, I don't know. It's an old battery. I don't think it's any good anymore. That's what I'm getting at. Anyways, we're all back together. Next step for this car, inspection. Finally. Oh man, what a lot of work. From the whole reason this whole car blew apart when I bought it, I don't know, 2.5 years ago, I guess, was because it came from Ontario and I live in BC, British Columbia. And when a car comes into BC from another province or another country, before you can put it on the road, it has to pass a really thorough mechanical inspection, and there was no way this car was gonna pass. So it got stripped right down to the frame rails, and 2.5 years later, here we are. It's finally ready to go in for inspection. Thanks, Don, for fixing my radiator. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys like my air cleaner. It's not done, but one day, it'll get done one day. We'll do another video. Anyways, I'm gonna go to bed because it's pretty late and I'm tired and I got a big day tomorrow. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.